Why is it that almost everyone who claims to be a follower of Christ keeps holidays that are not commanded in the Bible and that have their origins in heathenism? Forget whether or not it's wrong to keep days that don't have their origins in the Bible. And forget whether or not, for the moment, we don't have to keep the days that God commanded. Put that aside. Isn't it curious that almost everyone keeps days not commanded in this book? For example, in less than 2 weeks, Passover and the days of unleavened bread start. And yet, almost everybody that claims to believe in Christ will be keeping Easter, a holiday that has its genesis with fertility goddesses. Why is that? Forget whether it's right or wrong. It's very curious. Now, I do believe that God has told us whether it's right or wrong, but just putting that aside, almost everybody that claims to be a Christian will be keeping a non-biblical holiday, and yet a holiday that is mentioned in the New Testament. If you read 1 Corinthians 11, verses 23 through 26, Paul is saying that we should be keeping the symbols of Passover, the bread and the wine, on the night he was betrayed. And we also see evidence, that was in 1 Corinthians 11, verses 23 through 26. If you read 1 Corinthians 5, verses 7 through 8, you could read there where Paul says, let us keep the feast. He means the first day of unleavened bread. So we know the church kept that. You could read Acts 12, verses 3 through 4. It also mentions the unleavened bread and Passover. Why mention it if they weren't keeping it? And yet most people keep a holiday not mentioned in the Bible. What's the biggest holiday of the year for most people? A day that originated in solstice celebrations. It's just curious that almost everyone you know will keep non-biblical holidays, but biblical holidays they want nothing to do with. You know, if you read Zechariah 14, verses 16 through 19, and Isaiah 66, verse 23, we do see that one day the whole world will be keeping the Feast of Tabernacles and will be keeping the seventh-day Sabbath. The holidays were commanded by God. The apostles kept them, and we know they're going to be kept in the future. Might be a good time to start keeping them now, don't you think? Have a blessed, joyous Sabbath. Peace all. Bye-bye.